How would you react if your HOA president cut your locks, flooded your yard with 50 strangers, and told you your brand new $45,000 pool now belonged to the community? That was the moment I realized this wasn't a neighborhood, it was a battleground. I'm Riley Blake. 6 months ago I moved into Pinewood Estates with a divorce settlement, a dog, and a dream. Quiet mornings, manicured hedges, and a saltwater pool I could actually afford. My deed literally said, pool installation rights included. Best 3 words I'd ever read, worst 3 words Karen Whitfield had ever seen. Karen, 53, 4-term HOA President, surveillance level nosy, lives for bylaws the way some people live for brunch. Think perfect highlights, athleisure that's never seen a treadmill, and a white Escalade that reflects your sins. On week 2 of construction, she knocked at 7:45 a.m., clutching a clipboard like it held nuclear launch codes. Riley, sweetie, you're violating quiet hours. Workers arrived at 7:47. Yes, she timed them with a stopwatch. That launched my first emergency HOA meeting. Beige walls, burnt coffee, folding chairs, and Karen announcing she was only protecting property values. Smile sharp enough to deglove a diamond. She challenged my legal permits, impersonated authority on the phone with my contractor, and delayed my build 3 weeks. I thought it was petty power. I was wrong. It was phase 1. 2 weeks later, she rolled up with a hard hat and a man who looked like a mall Santa in July. Meet Bill from County Safety, she purred. Mandatory inspection. Bill's tools? A rusty tape measure and a camera older than cable TV. He mumbled about drainage risks while Karen scribbled like a court stenographer. That night, my divorce-trained research instincts kicked in. Rule number 1, verify authority. Real inspectors have credentials. Mine didn't. He wasn't County Safety. He was Karen's brother-in-law, who drives delivery trucks for her husband's mortgage firm. The violation letter they left? Dated 3 days before the inspection. And impersonating a federal or local official. Yeah, in the US that can be a crime. Falsely pretending to be a federal officer is punishable by up to 3 years. I made 3 calls. County, no bill, want to file a report. State HOA oversight, pre-written violations equals harassment. And planning, love surprise inspections, especially for people with unpermitted deck expansions. 2 days later, Karen signed for her own certified letter. Watching her hands shake through my front window tasted better than fresh coffee. You'd think that's when a normal person backs down. Karen doubled down. Enjoy your pool while you can, she hissed, then unleashed a smear campaign that would make political consultants blush. Whisper networks, emergency meetings, PowerPoints with red arrows pointing at imaginary risks. Except this time, neighbors pushed back. Marcus, a retired teacher and ex-Army engineer, stood up, show evidence. Dr. Martinez, our pediatrician, added, permits are clean, works textbook. Karen pivoted to the nuclear option. My job. Anonymous ethics complaints, claiming I'd used company resources to harass officials. Administrative leave. Then she hit my contractor, BBB filings, bogus insurance claims, and even my mortgage servicer with unauthorized modifications, nonsense. It was a conveyor belt of official-looking lies. The genius of the tactic? Use real systems to deliver fake narratives. Then Detective Morrison knocked with the words survivors hate, multiple complaints against you. Karen had flipped the script. Fake photos, edited audios, elderly neighbors coached into fear statements. She turned my documentation into evidence. I'm a master manipulator. I walked out of that conversation with a restraining order that banned me from HOA meetings. Perfect isolation. That's when Marcus brought me a manila folder from Tommy Kowalski, grandson of the sweet previous owner. Inside, HOA incorporation papers, bank statements, and a line item that turned my knees to jelly. Community Pool Fund, $180,000. 18 months of assessments, collected from every homeowner, then gone. Transfers led to Whitfield Construction Management, a shell run by Karen's brother, aka Inspector Bill. Deck remodels, a luxury SUV, kitchen upgrades, all paid with pool money. And the timing clicked. My private pool wasn't just a backyard upgrade, It was a neon billboard screaming, "We could have had this." Karen didn't fear my water, she feared questions. We formed a kitchen table task force. Marcus's daughter Jessica, digital forensics pro, drove in with a van full of gear. Dr. Martinez looped in her ex, a federal prosecutor specializing in financial cases. A forensic accountant traced funds. The evidence snowballed, emails about problem resident removal, texts about maximizing insurance claims, bank trails to shell vendors. This wasn't HOA drama, it was an enterprise. Karen sensed heat and escalated to sabotage. Concrete poured into my filtration system at 2:47 a.m., caught on Jessica's cameras, while her husband wore emergency pool repair shirts to create phony cover. Neighbors got anonymous letters, painting me as unstable, complete with fabricated reports. Insurance tips, tax tips, all of it meant to exhaust me. Then Jessica intercepted encrypted messages from a solution provider. Contaminate pool tonight. Compromise electrical tomorrow. Gas line accident Friday. Translation: make my death look accidental during a community gathering. Meanwhile, wire transfers to offshore accounts. Exit plan loaded. Friday at 2 p.m., Karen staged a fundraiser in my backyard. Tables, speakers, and 50 hyped-up neighbors who'd been bathed in her propaganda. Gas cans by the pool house, extension cords snaking toward my siding, a demolition rig near the pump room. If the match struck, I'd be a headline. And then, sirens. Not just local, black SUVs, tactical vests. Federal agents, nobody move. The FBI executed warrants for racketeering, wire fraud, mail fraud, and attempted murder. Faces changed color in real time. Karen grabbed the mic. "We're being framed." Marcus stepped forward. "Where's the $180,000 for the community pool?" You could feel 50 Minds reboot. The agent laid out the receipts and played a recording. Karen planning an accidental gas electrical event during a gathering. The crowd went cemetery silent. Press. Evidence crates. A neighborhood waking from hypnosis. 6 months later, I'm floating under string lights while kids cannonball into the water. Karen pled out. 3 years plus $400,000 restitution. Her husband and brother got time for fraud and impersonation. Our restitution and penalties recovered $340,000, enough to build the Kowalski Community Center, pool, playground, meeting rooms, with transparent budgets, term limits, and audited books. Personally, my company realized my obsession with logs, timestamps, and chain of custody is exactly what you want in cybersecurity. Promotion. Marcus is treasurer now. Dr. Martinez won the HOA presidency in a landslide and publishes every vote and invoice. Jessica launched a digital forensics firm specializing in HOA fraud. And yes, Detective Morrison and I are a thing. Plot twist I didn't see coming. What this story is really about isn't a pool. It's power with no oversight. HOAs can be great, shared amenities, maintain streets, but scale breeds risk. If you ever feel something's off, trust your gut and your documents. Document everything. Verify authority. Follow the money. Build allies. No escalation paths. Got your own HOA horror story or a redemption arc where neighbors took back control? Drop it in the comments with your city/state. If this deep dive gave you fuel to push back on petty tyrants, smash that like, hit subscribe, and share this video with the one neighbor who always shows up to meetings with receipts. New episodes drop weekly, real stories, real strategies, and the occasional cannonball of justice.